Alright, how you going, guys? Just a quick one. This actually will drag on about bits, so not that quick. Just want to show a few people in the guild, and anyone who cares, the Fury Warrior on Legion. This is current as of today. I've created a pre-made character on the PvP realm. Now you get full artifact traits, no relics, and 750 eye level weapon, so you don't get the higher eye level. I think my actual beta character's got like 800 eye level weapons, and it's got just a bunch of world quest items. But this is much of a muchness. You know, it's very similar eye level to my normal character anyway on the beta. So at the moment there is a don't think of this video in the best way to play numbers wise, because balancing is still an ongoing process. And if you want to play the best way numbers wise and buff wise, as in maintaining your enrage buff, which at the moment mine is 29% increased damage when you're enraged, is to Wild Strike, Furious Slash, to get your stacking crit buff, and then Bloodthirst. You'll hit your max, you'll hit enough rage to rampage, and then you will go back to spamming Furious Slash, and this is what you'll do. This is theoretically the best way at the moment to play a Fury Warrior. The cat has come to see what I'm doing. What do you want? But this is the way at the moment that you'll be playing it. Boring, yes. Engaging, no. So, what do we do? Well, change what you play. Play it fun. Fuck the numbers for now. So, quick talents. Says I haven't spent a talent. I'd love to know which one. Oh, that one. Who cares? So at the moment, you know, first tier, War Machine Endless Rage, Fresh Meat. Fresh Meat is like your marksman opener. You know, you get your increased crit chance on targets above a certain percentage. It only affects Bloodthirst, but Bloodthirst is the one you want to crit because it gives you Enrage. So then two things will give you Enrage: Bloodthirst crit and Rampage. Now Rampage is very expensive, but it guarantees an Enrage. And Enrage lasts not very long, like, what is it, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, something like that. But when you enrage, when you rampage, the enrage you get off that allows you to squish one ability at the end of it. One or two abilities at the end of it. I have terrible Oceanic MS. It's not that terrible, but I have Oceanic MS on the beta, so it's not a big deal. So, you know, that's what it is. So, Fresh Meat, that's the marksman opener thingy. More crit on targets above so much, so theoretically you should have plenty of enrage uptime. 100% until the 80% mark. So, some fights that have a really long intro phase could be good. Endless Rage, however, is just the auto attack. More rage off auto attacks. Fun. Nothing special. Synergizes well with Frenzy. Frenzy is whenever you hit Furious Slash, Wild Strike, Furious Slash. It still sounds terrible, although it does sound like you're slashing something. So, good job to the sound guy. At least it sounds like it. Sounds shit though. You get increased haste when you use this ability, stacking 3 times. So therefore, more haste, more auto attacks, more rage. So those two do synergize quite well. However, just spamming this ability to go into Bloodthirst to keep yourself enraged as much as possible is a boring spec. And promoting extra use of this ability is not something that I want to do. War Machine is the sort of PvP leveling talent, killing a target. I've read or heard somewhere that you don't necessarily have to get the killing blow on this, but as long as you do get a hit on it before it dies, I don't know if it's 5 seconds, 3 seconds or whatever, you will still get the buff. Yet to be tested, probably bugged, but there you go. I feel Endless Rage will largely be the default, unless Fresh Meat turns out to be really, really good. Second tier, movement. ability, stun ability. These don't do a lot of damage. Stormbolt compared to live does hardly any damage. But wherever CC is required, stunning is required. Double time, probably the default. 45, avatar, same as live. 4%, 4 seconds, sorry, less duration. Wrecking Ball is the AoE one, which is kind of cool. Check this out. It'll give you a proc when you attack. Or it won't give you a proc when you attack. There it goes. Free Whirlwind, 200% more damage. So, this does proc a fair bit for me on my other beta character. Apparently it doesn't want to proc here. Whatever. Anyway, but that's what it is. And yes, Whirlwind looks super cool. Oh, there it goes, it procced. And it can proc itself, which is kind of cool. Outburst, why this isn't baseline, I have no idea. Now you're in Rage. Berserker Rage no longer enrages you, it just gives you the Battle Rage buff. Why, no one knows. Blizzard knows. Yeah, maybe. 60 tier Furious Charge. Charge and your next Bloodthirst heals for 300% more. This saves your life a lot when you're questing. It's really good. Bounding Strikes, it's the reduced cooldown on Heroic Leap, but it also gives you a bit of a sprint afterwards. Warpaint reduces the damage you take while you're enraged by 20%. Now you take 30% more damage when you're enraged. Probably, you probably already know that if you're watching this. But that reduces it to only 20%. This may be the default talent, perhaps, that you'll use in raids, just because you might not can afford to take so much damage. Sorry, but who knows? Bounding Stride might be the default. Depends, really. Furious Charge might be. Who knows? 75 tier. This is where you start to make meaningful choices, I guess. More meaningful choices. Massacre. There'll be a lot of explanation in this talent, but essentially, your execute crits mean you get a free rampage. Cost-free rampage, which is good for two reasons. One, it does a lot of damage. It's free, of course, that's good, but it enrages you. Guaranteed to enrage you. So, very good. Very, very good. Frothing Berserker, you hit 100 rage, you get a 10% damage buff for 6 seconds, and you move faster. This synergizes well with Reckless Abandon, because Reckless Abandon, when you hit your Battle Cry, which is your recklessness, it gives you 100 rage. So you could almost say that Battle Cry on the tooltip, you can pretty much say, and grants 10% more damage for 6 seconds. You could sort of look at it like that. Don't think it's going to be used at all, because Massacre is just far too strong. Bladestorm is what it is, does a ton of damage. People say it might be nerfed. Very powerful for Fury, more powerful for Arms. And I feel that Arms is going to be the AoE/cleave spec, whereas Fury is going to be the single target spec in Legion. One thing to note with AoE while we're here is that actually I'll leave it for Meat Grinder. Yeah, that's it basically. So Massacre I think will be the default when you're playing Fury, because you're doing single target. Done. 90 tier, not a fan. Frenzy, like I said, when you Furious Slash, you get a stacking crit buff. Here it is. Haste, 15% haste. You're also stacking your crit buff for Bloodthirst. So not only do you have to use it once every 10 seconds to maintain the stacks, you're also going to use it because it increases your Bloodthirst critical hit chance. And Bloodthirst, you need it to crit because it gives you Enrage. So, there you go. That's what it is. I'm not a fan. Really don't like it. But I think that's pretty consistent with most people. Most people hate it. It's subjective. Yeah, whatever. Meat Grinder. It means that your Rampage, your awesome looking, for those that haven't seen it, if this is by somehow miracle the first video you've seen, when you get the old double stack of Raging Blow charges, this animation that used to mean you had a double stack of Raging Blow, it's now for Rampage. Now, I can't zoom in too well because I rebind my character, my thingies. so that I can't just mouse wheel. I use mouse wheels for abilities, so I can't zoom in easily, but that's Rampage. Yeah, how awesome is it? It's the 3 strikes, the 3 really quick strikes. I'll do it again. Wait for it. Yeah, pretty awesome, isn't it? Does a lot of damage. Now, what that ability is basically saying is that it's going to cleave, like Meat Cleaver, onto 4 targets. Only for 50% of the damage, but it guarantees enrage. You want to hit it, it'll cleave now. This is where I'll mention Meat Cleaver. Still exists, but it's no longer cleaved with Raging Blow, it's cleaved with Bloodthirst, which is an amazing quality of life change, like fucking amazing. What it means is that you're going to be bloodthirsting heaps anyway for your enrage buff, and enrage is, as it's always been, hugely important, probably more so important now than ever. Just going to get rid of this so it stops popping up. But Bloodthirst no longer hits like a wet noodle, it hits hard. I think in my main tune that's got a lot more mastery, my main beta tune, should I say, beta tune, I'm getting like 450k Bloodthirst crits with 800 eye level weapons. I mean, on here, sure, it's not hitting very hard, but I imagine once with gear and everything like that, we're going to see pretty big pretty big Bloodthirsts. And you're gonna want to hit the ability anyway to proc your enrage. So it's nice that it's not a waste of time. So you'll Meat Cleaver off your Bloodthirst. It's nice, trust me. You'll play with it. It's very good. It's a good quality of life change. And you only have to whirlwind once between your Raging Blows. 1 whirlwind is enough to get Meat Cleaver to hit 4 targets. So that's what it is. So yeah, that's that. So then you've got Inner Rage. Inner Rage, in my opinion, this makes the rotation a hell of a lot more fun, more dynamic. It's great. It's really, really great. It means that Raging Blow no longer needs you to be enraged, but you're obviously only going to hit Raging Blow when you're enraged to get the damage buff from your mastery. So enraged, whenever you're enraged, you're going to be thinking, should I be throwing Raging Blow now, or should I be waiting? It forces a 4.5 second cooldown on it, which is reduced by haste. All these are reduced by haste, you can tell, most abilities. But it means that there's some thought into the rotation and stuff. So what you'll do, what I've been doing quite a lot of, I've been throwing the Rampage to guarantee enrage, and then I've been following it up with my Raging Blow. So there's a Rampage, Raging Blow. It's a nice mini burst window, and if I'm not enraged, I'm just using Furious Slash. So bang, go. It's just nice. I'm not enraged, so I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna Wild Strike, Furious Strike. Stop saying that. It's just really, really nice. So it adds something. It adds something that Fury desperately needs, and that's some thought and some variation. You know what I mean? So if you don't get your enrage, doesn't matter. Throw some Furious Strikes, get your enrage, throw your Raging Blow, go into your Rampage. You know what I mean? It changes the rotation massively. It's just nice. Bang. Really good. Really, really enjoy it. So yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of Rampage into Raging Blow. It's a lot of Rampage into a Bloodthirst into a Raging Blow because you're enraged. You know what I mean? It's just nice. Sure, the uptime on enrage isn't probably going to be as high. And no doubt, and undoubtedly that means it's not going to sim as high, which means people aren't going to play it, but it increases the fun a lot. But there it is. Level 100 Talent Carnage just makes Rampage cost less, so you can pop it earlier. So instead of costing 85, Rage only costs 65. It also means that when you go into a high rage rampage, it means you won't be left at as low rage, which will come into the execute phase a lot. Well, it will lead into the execute phase, perhaps. The execute phase has a lot of synergy, which you have to go over. I'll have to go over it independently, but Carnage, I don't see it being taken. Is at the end of the day, yes, it's cheaper rampages, but who cares? Rampage is your only main spender for most of the rotation, and when you get to execute phase, everything synergizes so well with the execute phase that you're not that concerned about your rage. You're more concerned about your enrage buff, if that makes sense. It'll make sense. Reckless Abandon, I think this or Dragon's Roar, I'm not too certain. Dragon's Roar seems fine for AoE. It's like a mini 20% Colossus Smash. Whenever it hits, you increase the damage you deal to that target by 20% for 6 seconds. So yes, I mean Avatar, Blade Storm, Dragon's Roar, all those things sync up nicely, and yeah, sure, that big damage. Not as much damage as Arms, by the way. So if burst AoE is what you're going for, you'll be doing it with Arms instead. You won't be doing it like this. So I don't sort of dwell too much on the potency of the Fury AoE, even though it's there. Arms is much better, in my opinion. The Fury is undoubtedly going to be the execute, just god, and more single target orientated. So, which is why I think Reckless Abandon is probably going to be the best. I may be wrong. Again, Dragon's Roar, but I quite like Reckless Abandon for the way that it plays. So the first thing about Reckless Abandon, I will say, because it gives you 100 rage when you pop your Battle Cry, and I'll just go to Avatar now because we don't need Wrecking Ball. We're going to be pure single targeting, and this is what I think a single target spec will look like, except probably Bounding Stride instead, or Warpaint for the less damage. This is pretty much what I think it'll look like. If you're having fun, Frenzy, fuck you. You'll be, doing your thing, trying to get your enrage up. You'll get it there, which is good. But what you'll do is you'll pop your Avatar, you'll Rampage, Raging Blow, Bloodthirst, then you'll do it all over again. Because you're sorry, it's hard to talk and do this at the same time. Because your Battle Cry will give you 100 rage, you basically want to completely exhaust your rage bar and then pop your Battle Cry to go back up. It means you can chain Bloodthirst, chain Rampages. I'll just do it again, bang. It's really nice for damage. So I'll just start again. What I'm going to do, what you'll be seeing people doing, you'll see them be going Rampage, and then it's for 2 seconds, so you'll be able to go Rampage, Raging Blow, Bloodthirst. That's pretty much what you'll be doing. Rampage, Raging Blow, Bloodthirst. Or if Raging Blow is on cooldown, you do Rampage, Bloodthirst, Raging Blow. And you'll be able to do that twice in a row thanks to Battle Cry. You'll go Rampage, Raging Blow, Bloodthirst, no rage or very low rage. Then you'll go Battle Cry, and you'll do it again, back to back, son. It's big damage. Yeah. So I'll just do it again so you can see. So I'm getting up to max rage. Pop that. So we're up there. We'll go Rampage, Raging Blow, Bloodthirst, Battle Cry. There it is again. Yeah, so damage. Pretty tasty. Rampage, Raging Blow. There it is. So, very nice. Decision making, fun. Most important, fun. Now.